Oh, dude, it really did land right on the freaking thing, dude. But it's fun? What is this? Oh, God. No, I'm good. Stop embarrassing me in front of my friends. I got most of it, guys. Jackery, what are the tabs for that? So it's E, C, A minor, B minor, G, D, whatever that is. BA5. Huh. Oh, it's tuned down 1/2 step, so it's, yeah, E, okay. E minor, yeah, E minor, all right. Did you go through re-entry or something? Dude, I got, like, I went like this during the automotive stream when my hands had wet paint on them. Yeah. Yeah. Drop B or bust, need heavy gauge strings though. What is it, a bass? What is it, a freaking bass? Owned by paint, yeah. So it's E, C. No, that's B. That's B. What are these tabs? So you're looking for C, so A minor. This sounds terrible with the wrong tuning. That sounds horrible. Excuse me, one min miss. I don't know, man. That is the death metal tuning. Terrible. You could also play C up here. You play the power chord for C, so. Jackery, hold on. We'll get into Space News in a second. I got plenty of it. So E, A, B, no, that's G, D, that's C, there we go. It goes E, C, A, B. Still something like that. Am I getting there? Dadgad. Are we gonna play Kashmir? Doesn't sound right without Dadgad. Here. Play Seven Nation Army. No. B, F sharp, B, E, G sharp, C sharp. What is it, a bass? Do you use anything special to hear the guitar in your headphones with no lag? So, Goose, this guitar is going through a Vox AD15 VT, and that's going to a Behringer. It's going into a Behringer X1204 mixer, and that's going into a USB that's going into the computer, and then I just have Windows set to listen to it, to listen to the sound device. That's so I can hear it, and you can hear it too. I'll get it, Lavi. I always remember the first 3 parts, and then everything else I forget. But like, learn something about like learning it on stream. I have to like really sit there. That doesn't introduce like 200 milliseconds of lag? No. No, it used to. It does, but if I fire up the amplifier first and let the amp get up to speed, and then I turn on the mixer, and then I turn on the computer, if you do it in that order, that's enough. Space news time. Yeah, I don't need the guide. I like to listen. I listen to the song and then I emulate that way. Stop, my face is melting. Jeez. Okay, mullet is A-okay today. All right, cool. So if you didn't join me for the automotive stream, you watched paint dry. It was nice. Ismic, how are you? Kalinka Malinka. I don't know what that means. I don't like this. Eto nie horosho. I don't like this. I got some of the stuff, but then there's a bunch more. So let me just start transferring the linky lonks. Okay. I love your reaction to the SN explosion yesterday. What the? Well, that's not a good noise. Oh my god. Yeah, I know, Vasya. Mm-hmm. It's a folk song from 1860. Yeah. Is there a video of the explosion? No. Here, let's go. To start Space News today, we will go across the pond. We will go across the pond. Do you hear that? Time for the Russian Space News. Let's go. There's a third crack on the ISS. Why are the astronauts in no hurry to leave the station? Oh, God. You guys have articles like this, too? Where they ask the question, where they ask a question in the title? Oh, I hate that crap. Oh, you guys have that, too? Ugh. It's just piss poor writing. Do the same thing to the U.S. anthem? Go ahead, man. Oh, I don't hate that, Thomas. Nice. No, it's just sarcasm. Yeah, I know. We have... I call them cracked articles. Here's why you need to know why this is happening. Just end it. All right. Oh, God. Yo, did you get the Coronet running? Yeah. Yeah, it runs. The brakes don't work, but it runs. Yeah, I need to fix those brakes. I ended up pushing it, and now my legs feel like pudding. And I decided to figure out the story that cracks myself. Dangerously, not dangerous? What is this, Kim? I sent a request to the Energia Rocket and Space Corporation. A few days later, I was in a white coat, white cap, 2 pairs of shoe covers. First, to enter the building of the control and test station, I had to put on plastic coveralls and silvery tangled wires. Okay. This reads like a Russian novel. Officially, this is a test stand for the Zvezda service module, the ISS main module. All operations are rehearsed here before performing by the astronauts in orbit, from screwing in a new bolt to repairing a pipeline. Don't be surprised that it looks different from Zvezda in space. Oh, dude, this guy got to go up to the Zvezda test module. All right. Pavel Vladimirovich has 3 long-term space flights, 1 on Mir and 2 on the ISS. He is now deputy head of RSC Energia, Flight and Space Center. Ooh. All right, let's I could read this all day. Let's get to the point here. Oh. Okay. Dude. Did you shave between the car and now? I got paint on my, because I went like this, Ismic, when my hands had paint on them. Yeah, I shaved. There's the cracks. Oh, that's nothing. That's a little tiny crack. It's already clear where the second leak is, under the pipeline of the thermal control system. It is impossible to crawl under the pipeline, but it can be sealed from above, which is what they did in orbit. Okay. The operation was worked out on Earth stand. Pavel shows a section of the pipeline on which a dark composition similar to Play-Doh. Children's Play-Doh, not adult Play-Doh. Hi, Pick. That's a twin. The other EJ is for early hours. Yes. It's a hermetic seal. The base is epoxy resins and special materials developed back in Soviet times to use it on Mir. They're using Play-Doh to... You guys are using Play-Doh to seal the modules? Play-Doh? Play-Doh. I'm just messing with you. After 2 microcracks were sealed, the leak was halved, and now about 0.4 cubic meters of air per day is leaving. It's Soviet Play-Doh, though. Well, okay. At least you know it'll last. It's probably not good for you, but at least you know it'll last. Hey, if it works. How's the situation now? We'll assume there's still a leak. So the crews have yet to tinker with a microscope and a new leak detector, which will be delivered on MS-18. That's cool that this guy was just like, hey, can I check this out? And they're like, yeah, Come here, look. The wall thickness of Zvezda is only 4 millimeters. But this is special, especially durable metal, so it's high-grade aluminum. Would you rather they use the finger? I mean, you could. Vinogradov names 2 possible reasons. One is the load on Zvezda. In 2007, the Russian segment, the onboard digital computer complex failed. While the crew was repairing the computer for 2 days, the orientation was maintained by the American shuttle docked at the opposite end of the 120-meter structure, into which all the modules of the giant ISS are connected. Of course, there were vibrations that went along with the station building. Huh, I didn't know that. They used the shuttle gyros to keep the station oriented? Well, I'll be. I didn't know that. Soviet Play-Doh curiously expired in 1991. Yeah. You're high-graded. No, you. No, it's special Play-Doh. Just like special tape with NASA branding. Oh, okay. We allowed the station to be driven by ATV engines in order to understand the dynamics of the huge station's structure. The task was brilliantly completed. But again, the loads on Zvezda were powerful. Despite the fact that Zvezda is a small compartment, or the PRK, not Zvezda. They're talking about the vestibule between Zvezda and basically the airlock, right? You can lie in it, but as they say, you cannot stand up. 2 meters long, 2 meters in diameter. Well, our trucks dock to it. The ships dock to the back of it. One can suspect that it is flowing somewhere in that area of the frame to which the docking station is screwed onto. But even the hard joints of progress were still much lower than the loads that, according to our calculations, the PRK could withstand. In general... Okay. So they don't know exactly how the leaks got there. This thing. See this thing right here? That's the thing that we're talking about. The PRK. That thing. It's the vestibule where they dock to the very back of the station. This is the back of the ISS at the Zvezda module, which is... Zvezda is... I always forget it. Star? Huh. Interesting, Thomas. Yeah, star, right? Okay. The ISS has never been a tightly sealed object. For example, 400 grams of carbon dioxide and air are just discharged from this Zvezda module every day. There's a loss of atmosphere during docking and undocking of ships and spacewalks. Therefore, the station always has a large supply of oxygen. Yeah, anytime you open the airlock, you got to vent. No cosmonauts or astronauts are sus. It's cool we can actually see the pictures with the cracks. Yeah, absolutely. This is a pretty cool article. The pictures, man. I can't believe Energia just is like, yeah, here, come here, check this out. There's the cracks. All right, let me look at this. Let me look at how this thing is put together. Okay, so it's welded aluminum, high-grade aluminum, so aircraft grade most likely. And then they have this tube, this kind of gusset, I guess, or a stringer, I guess you could call it. And there's 2 of them, and it looks like it cracked in between the stringers. Interesting. There's another one up there. I mean, I'll say this once, I'll say it again. Leaks are not that big of a deal on the ISS. It does happen. It's something that you kind of have to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. It's like on a boat. Boats constantly are sinking. The bilge is constantly filling up with water. And if you've ever been to a dock or seen a boat like driving around, you notice that it has just water gushing out the side, like there's a hole on the side of the hull and water's coming out. That's the bilge pump. Stuff like this happens. You just have to kind of monitor leaks. I mean, I'm frankly surprised that Zvezda has lasted this long. The thing is like 40 years old, and it's been up in space for 20. It was originally part of the Mir space station. Mir 2, not the original Mir. If it was part of the original Mir, that would be impressive. It was built for the Mir 2 space station, which that project folded, and then after the Soviet Union collapsed, the Mir 2 space station and Space Station Freedom, which was the U.S.'s space station, combined and made the ISS. They combined the two projects. From what I'm gathering, you're thinking of stress and fatigue. Well, the other thing is that, the other thing, Tessa, is the important thing to mention is that Zvezda is a Salyut module. So it's a salute module. Those modules are were never designed to be up there for that long. And it's a testament to the design. It really is. Dude, those things were designed to be up there for a year or two, maybe 10 at the very least. That thing's been up there for 20 plus. Zvezda was launched in 2000. It's been up there a while. Right after it was launched, they launched up Expedition 1 with, who was on it? Bill Shepard from NASA, Sergei Krikalev, and I always forget the last guy's name. Damn it. Yeah, Rev Shark, it's got some mileage on it, that's for sure. I forget the last guy's name. That's Expedition 1. We're on Expedition 65. It's been continually habitated for 20 years, which is insane. Yuri Gizinko. Thank you, Joe. Mir core modules were expected to stay longer, not like the previous Salyuts. Yeah. Pretty much entropy. It's a testament to that design. Seriously, it's a great design. Great station modules. Russians make really good station modules. Because the Russians or the Soviets at the time, they chose to go with a more Skylab style architecture. So they had Proton and they had Soyuz for the longest time. Proton moved the station modules, all the heavy stuff, and Soyuz moved the people into space. Or small cargo, medium to small duty cargo, and then Progress later down the road. Progress came around in the 80s. And they used Proton to put the modules up there, coupled 2 or 3 modules together, or in the case of Mir, coupled a bunch of launches together, and made... They would be like us taking a Skylab and mating it with another Skylab, and another Skylab, and another Skylab, and another Skylab. They've been doing that since the 60s. That's something that they were working on during the space race. The Salyut program was the strategic response to the Gemini MOL program, and then the MOL program folded, and they're just like, all right, we got a space station now. That's cool. Have we gone over what happened yesterday yet, or is that still upcoming? I saved Starship for last. All right, anyway, next news. Let's see. This is coming from Roscosmos Actual. At the Vostochny Cosmodrome, I get Rockyton. What does that word say? Vulcan color schemes are fire. Let me see. Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool. April? Okay, so this is probably saying that the rocket is being prepared for for the next launch in April. Yeah, that's my guess. Nope. Nope. What's the N with the thing over it? What is that? What is that? I always forget this. N is more like Y in Firefly. So this word would be Votoroni? That's VTOROY? Votoroni? Hey, all right, nice. Someone needs to get EJ the Russian language. These are the Russian language lessons, Kooky. I'd work on trying to figure stuff out. So, Raketa Nositel, Soyuz 21B, Raketa. Honestly, I really want to learn Russian. Yeah. Alright, let's translate. At the Cosmodrome Vostochny Work has started for a launch in April. Hey, all right, I'm getting pretty good at that. Experts carried out operations to transfer the payload, consisting the first and second stages. No. Experts carried out operations to transfer the carrier vehicle, consisting of the first and second stages of the Soyuz 21B carrier rocket, to the workplace for testing. Ooh. Well, I don't hate that. Lavi, honestly, Russian doesn't seem that bad. Like, I've tried to learn other languages before. It's not that bad. It's the letters. The letters, like, okay, so if you're looking at, like, Spanish, for instance, some of the letters have very similar pronunciations, right? There's the N with the squiggly line over it, which is like nyek, right? But they're more or less it's the same letters. So, like, the Russians have a lot of the same letters as us, and they're pronounced the same, but they also have a lot of letters that are similar to ours, but are not pronounced the same at all. Like a P is an R, right? And a C is an S. So it kind of, you have to, like, I gotta flip it in my head, and that takes a second. It's easy. I've been speaking it my whole life. Yeah. Ooh. Well then. That's very nice. So, this is Raketoni. Fun fact. I said my first English word before a Russian one. Oops. Raketoy? Oh, yeah, that infographic floating. Nice. With the rocket. Okay. Is the red inner color some ablative coating? No, not at all. Those are covers. They are covers to cover the inside of the nozzle. The red, anything that you see on a rocket or an airplane that's red means you remove it before flight. Yeah. So anything that's red is going to get removed. These are just covers. They cover the nozzle. You don't want any foreign object debris getting in there. The only thing that should be, I mean, this is honestly a one-way street. There should be nothing going in here. If something is going in here, then you got a problem. The only thing that should be flowing out of this is hot gases. That's it. Anything else going inside of this or out of it, you're gonna have a bad day. Okay, next news. This is coming from Dmitry Rogozin, who is the CEO of Roscosmos. Let's see. Roscosmos. Nope. Yep. Nope. I got none of this. Yep. How about we go over here? Roscosmos has become much more attentive to its financial discipline. In 2020, no misuse of budget funds was found. Yeah. Well, no wonder. This has no words that I recognize. That was very difficult. Nothing was stolen. Well, I guess that's pretty good. I don't hate that. That's good for you guys. There you go. No more stealing and corruption. Kem, who does the books over there? So we have, NASA has an OMB, Office of Managing and Budget, that it reports to for budget. We have accountability offices, safety, the Associate Safety Advisory Panel, that's more for safety and anything. It's OMB and GAO, Government Accountability. And the Government Accountability Office does not fall under the NASA tree. It's like third party. How do you guys review funds over there? There were some arrests recently at Vostochny, but it was regarding old cases. I know Dmitry went and rolled heads at Vostochny. He went in there and said, "What are you doing? Why do you have a brand new Mercedes when the pad isn't getting done? What are you doing?" The guy was like, "Well, I bought that with other money." He goes, "What other money?" "No, you didn't. You didn't buy that with other money. You bought it with my money, you prick." Literally, that's what happened. Yeah, the guy showed up to the job site in a brand new Mercedes, and Dmitry got pissed. Does OIG? Yeah, OIG looks over it as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, Thomas, they arrested people, dude. Ain't nobody want to go to jail in Russia. Ain't nobody want to go to jail in Russia. Not a good idea. Let's not do that. I mean, you don't want to go to jail here either. But also, ain't nobody want to go to jail in Russia. Yeah, Kem isn't lying. He went in there and arrested a bunch of people. He fired the foreman of the project. Hey, Snake, what's going on? The accounts chamber is reviewing this. It's not part of Roscosmos, but a government entity that looks for mistakes. Yep, okay. So Dmitry had the place audited. Got it. I think you just don't want to go to jail, period. Yeah, don't be like that guy that walked up to Starship and took pictures, took selfies with it. Yeah, don't be like that guy. That guy's going to jail. The guy who went under SN11 wanted to go to jail. That's correct. Well, good, Kem. That's good. I mean, I know over there that people just pocket the money. It's been happening for 30 years. Especially what happened when all the tanks, all the planes, man. So Russia has a big problem with that. They've had a big problem with corruption and people selling off state property and stuff since the Soviet Union collapsed, because after the Soviet Union collapsed, the entire Red Army, all the generals that were commanding the battalions, what they basically did was, and this is messed up. This is messed up. This is like the direct result of like hundreds of thousands of people dying. They took all their state-owned hardware and sold it on the black market. A lot of it. That's what Lord of War is about, if you've ever seen that. Yeah. You don't have to worry. I'm not going to tell you a pack of lies to make myself look good. I'm actually Russian. I don't know if I told you that because I'm Nick Cage. Don't mind that I'm a Russian that lives in New York and has kind of a southern draw to his accent. Yeah, no, that's messed up. Yeah, that's really messed up. But good. That's good. I'm glad. That's a good thing. No, don't link it, Lavi. The government couldn't even pay the army. Yeah, so they sold everything. It's not ideal, man. Not ideal. Yeah, not a high point in human history. Anyway, let's keep going. Oop. Technicians continue to work on the Soyuz. I shouldn't have translated it right off the bat. Let's see if I can get at it. Nope. I know that this says Soyuz 18 at Baikonur. Yep. Experts continue to work on the Soyuz 18 Baikonuri. Today, mating has been completed with the payload attachment fitting of the rocket's third stage. It provides communication between the spacecraft and the nose of the fairing, as well as the integration of the Soyuz command interface to the rocket's avionics. So they attached Soyuz MS-18 to the payload attachment fitting right here, and then they're gonna put this thing on a gigantic stand. The stand is down here. They're going to take it on the payload attachment fitting. They're going to put it on a stand. That stand's going to rotate it 90 degrees, and then they're going to sleeve it with that fairing over there. Once they sleeve it, then they'll pick up the entire fairing with Soyuz inside, and they'll attach the payload attachment fitting to Soyuz's third stage. That happens on the transporter erector, though. Actually, that's not exactly true. They'll take the fairing payload attachment, attach that to the third stage, and they'll pick the third stage and the Soyuz up, and then they'll put that thing on the transporter erector. Which is pretty cool. Very nice. You can see the name of the capsule. It's named Yuri. Yep. What's Yuri's middle name? Alexandrovich? I think is his name. That's what the A is for. Hey, Envy, what's going on? Alexievich. I was close. I was close. All right. Anyway, we got one more tweet coming from Dimitri here. Dimitri Sama. Dimitri, what's Dimitri's middle name? Olegovich. Vasi, I have another thing. I've noticed that, like, just on Twitter, like, people call Dimitri, they say his first name and his middle name. Is that, like, is that a thing? Like, I noticed that a lot. You guys don't just use the first name. Like, over here, like, I have a middle name, but people just say first last, you know? I'm not sure. Oh, Force. Yeah? Okay. It's more respectful and official. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. My mother says my middle name when she's pissed at me. Your first name is EJ and your last name is Essay. Yeah, but what's my middle name? Underscore? All right. Next. Oh. Oh. Eto horosho? Horosho. Da. Middle name in Russia shows respect. Middle name in the U.S., you better show some respect, boy, or whoop that butt. Yeah, yep, Fractal, that's pretty much right. The flamey bits are pointed the wrong way. It's all right. EJ Danger SA. Yeah, Cookie, exactly. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, I know, Lavi. I just want to look at it. That's nice. There's the pre-burner. Oxidizer pre-burner right there. You have 3 names and a last name? WWW071? Jeez, that's a weird name. Australian engine. Yeah, right. It's this dang Australian, right? This dang Australian engine. Lavi, can your middle name be Stoolcorm? Is that okay? Lavi Stoolcorm 154. It's a great name. It's a very, very strong Anglo name, Stoolcorm. Yep. No, your real life name. I know what you meant, you dope. Only in Monaco. I see what you did there. All right. Okay, fair. If I recall correctly, the middle name is the patronym of the father. Okay, yeah. I mean, my name's the same way. My middle name is my dad's name, so there you go. All right, Phil, I have that open. Do you believe in fuel oxidizer pumps driven by electric motors? For small motors, jokes, that's a great idea. For large motors, no. No, Tessa, not at all. All right, what's Dimitri saying about that's an RD-171? Energomash. Glishko? Huh. Yeah. Henyo? Nroy? Nope. I don't know what that means. He's probably saying, if I had to guess, he's talking about Energomash, and he's talking, who is the company that makes RD-170s. Glishko is the design corporation. Let's see. In the Scientific and Production Association, Energomash, named after academician Valentin Glishko, they completed a cycle of firing tests of the first advanced liquid propellant RD-171 MV. All 8 firing tests, which took place in Kimki over 3 months, were successful. Oh man, you gotta stream that. How's the meatball sub? Freaking delicious. Nauczno Proizvodstvenom. Man, it's tough. Here's another picture. Dude, they gotta stream that stuff, man. I wanna see an RD-170 firing, man. I've never seen one of those. That's nice. So that's an RD-171, guys. The reason why I'm kind of swooning over this is because the RD-170 and its derivatives are the most powerful liquid fuel rocket engine ever made. 6,700 kilonewtons of thrust. It was used in past carrier rockets like the Zenit rocket. And then, before that, it was used as a Zenit booster on the Energia Buran shuttle. That thing is about half as powerful as an SRB, and that's why Buran Energia had 4 boosters instead of 2. But still, half the power of an SRB is the most powerful liquid fuel rocket engine ever devised. The only one that even comes close is the first stage engines on the Saturn V, which is like 6,600. It's very close. The Saturn V engines are the biggest single-chamber rocket engine ever designed. The RD-170 is the most powerful rocket engine ever designed, period. It's approaching it's like 1.5 million pounds of thrust, which is just okay. No, RD-170s are more powerful than F1s, Tessa. Yeah, they're more powerful. Not by much, but they're more powerful. Yeah. So how is the Russian space program actually structured? I know Roscosmos is state-owned, but what about the various design bureaus? They're satellite corporations of Roscosmos. Short line. So the Russians do it a little bit differently than we do over here. It's not NASA, okay? What the Russians do is they have Roscosmos, which is a state-owned corporation. So it's a corporation that has private investors, but the biggest investor by far, who has controlling stake in the company, is the state, is the Russian government, the Kremlin. And then all the companies under that are shell, well, not shell companies. That implies that nothing's getting done. They're not a shell company. They're satellite companies. So Boeing, for instance, Boeing has Boeing Air and Space, which they have Boeing airplanes, which makes planes. They have Boeing Space, which makes spacecraft. They have Boeing Defense, which makes missiles and stuff. They're just sub companies. That's how they have it set up. They're subsidiaries. That's the word I'm looking for. Subsidiaries. Hey Guns, what's going on, man? NASA is far more nationalized than Roscosmos, and I find that hilarious. Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, there you go, W. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Tessa, maybe. So that's cool that they're working on static firing out those the RD-170s. That's the Soyuz 5 or the Irtush. Irtush. Irtush? Huh? No, that's in English. That's a slang word for your butt. You're tushy. Gojira, you caught me at the end. How you doing? Who's tush? Your dish. Just noticed cool shirt? Well, actually, it is rocket science, yeah. Thanks, Warjo. So that's cool that they're firing those things again. RD-170s are good engines, man. Real good. All right, anyway. Let's pop back over here to this side of the pond. And go from there. Eight tests is not a small number. Kem, I remember Tori Bruno one time. He was talking about RD-180s, and he said that somebody asked him, you know, can RD-180s be reused? And he was like, oh yeah, they can. Yeah, you can reuse those things a bunch of times. If we could get one back, we could put it right back on the test stand and fire it again. I believe it from those tests. The RD-171 test that Dimitri's talking about, 8 times in 3 months, that's pretty damn good. 8 times in 3 months, so that's a firing every week and a half. That's impressive. Those engines can be reused, which is crazy to me because they're oxygen-rich stage combustion, which is just... Okay. Oxygen-rich stage combustion cycle has an operating temperature. That's basically lava. Yeah. Whenever you go oxidize your rich, if anybody knows a little bit about cars, if you lean out an engine, it gets really hot and something melts. An oxygen-rich rocket engine to make more power gives you a more clean burn. So you can put more oxygen in with the same amount of fuel, and all the hydrocarbons that go into that engine get completely burned out, so there's no soot like on a Falcon 9, which is a fuel-rich open cycle, right? You know, Falcon 9 comes back and it gets covered in that cloud of carbon soot when it lands, right? The RD-170s and the RD-180s don't have that. They take all the burnt fuel and they cycle it back into the engine with an oxygen-rich stage combustion cycle. It's actually pretty damn smart. So you get super high efficiency and super high thrust from Carolox, which is pretty impressive. It's pretty cool. You get extremely high operating temperatures, though. That's part of the reason why they split it up between a couple of nozzles. SN15 moved into the high bay for nose cone stacking. You can read on Wikipedia the organization of the Soviet space program. The thing was a hot mess compared to Rule 8. Floating, I've had folks from over there, Russians, tell me that the Soviet space program was... And just the defense industry in the Soviet Union was kind of like... It was kind of like ours, where like the state corporations would compete for funding. Like how... Think of it like how the Science Mission Directorate and the Human Exploration Operations Directorate kind of compete for funding. You know what I mean? Like, do we want more science missions or do we want more people going into space? You know, like, it's kind of like that. And I know that the heads of each design bureaus, they really didn't like each other. For instance, you know, that engine was named after Glushko, Valentin Glushko. He's the guy that engineered Energia. Energia Buran was his idea. And frick, did he do a good job. He hated Sergei Korolev. They hated each other. They wanted to fight. Like, fight in the street, hated each other. They really... Yeah, rocket EGR. Basically, PCAS. Yeah, it's basically EGR for rockets, but it's like using EGR for rockets when your oxidizer is nitrous. Yeah, Builder, I have that on tap. It's coming up. So, yeah, Glushko didn't like Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov didn't like Korolev. Korolev didn't like Glushko. Like, they friggin' hated each other. Which is funny because it's like CEOs of companies duking it out, like how Elon and Jeff kind of duke it out. It's the same thing, only, you know, public versus private, obviously. They must use a lot of titanium and Inconel in the chamber and the nozzles. Well, Hellfish, what they do is, so they cycle the oxidizer through the nozzles, And then that oxidizer gets heated up, goes into a pre-burner, right? And it goes into a pre-burner oxygen rich, and then that goes into the combustion chamber again. So they have a very lean mixture going into the injector plate, and then they hit it with fuel again, and it burns everything. There's no exhaust from that, and the only exhaust is just freaking burnt, like CO2. That's pretty much it. Korolev and Glishko had some history in the past, but it wasn't that bad between the other constructors. Yeah, because Netsov was just like, hey, I'm just making jet engines up here. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's not as bad as you think, yeah. I wonder why the upper echelons didn't intervene to tell them to get their act together for the good of the motherland or something. Well, part of the reason why Glishko didn't like Korolev is because he thought the N1 was stupid. He thought the N1 was a dumb idea. He thought that was really stupid. And he thought if you were going to make a moon rocket, you should make something like this. That was Koleme, not Glishko, but you get the idea. He thought that the N1 was dumb, and that's a Nick Stevens graphic, by the way. Nick Stevens is on Twitter, posts awesome pictures and stuff like this all the time. He thought that the N1 was dumb. He thought it was a bad idea. He thought it was too complicated, and he may have been right on that one. But Korolev is if I'm understanding this correctly, Korolev was on the good graces of the Politburo because he made the R7, the Semyorka, which became Vostok and then Voshkod and then Soyuz after that. He invented KSP. I'm pretty sure that was Tsiolkovsky, but whatever. That in KSP. Now I'm good. Okay, I have Mary's picture open. They didn't give him time to finish the rocket, and then of course Sergei died, which sucks. Well, if you shut the Starship program, it would sound just like the N1. I mean, my theories about canceling stuff that's already been made and tested stands. It does not matter the government. It does not matter the country. It does not matter at all. Every time you cancel a rocket program, every time, it's not just NASA. Every time you cancel a rocket program under the guise of somebody being able to do it better, you're taking 15 years off the progress of your space program at the very least. It happened in the Soviet Union. It happened with us in the Saturn V. It happened with the space shuttle. It happened with Constellation. It's happening right now with people that say they want to cancel SLS. Oh, yeah, SLS is a waste of money. Yeah, okay. Sure. $30 billion. You should have said that was stupid. Yeah, okay, good. You don't need to hear me talk about it. Anyway, next news. Did they say if 11 exploded on the ground or in the air? Don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. So this is coming from Moynak Day. I'm an admirer of space research and love programming. Astrophysics saver. Okay. So Vulcan rolled to the pad. The first stage rolled to the pad for testing. Ooh, nice. Let's cancel it and start over again, because it'll be cheaper this time. She's fat. 5 meters. She's 5 meter rocket. It's about 17 feet across. It's big. Actually, it's 20. I think it might be 20 feet. I think this is 5.4 meters if I'm remembering correctly. That looks so clean compared to Atlas V. It's nice. It's a nice rocket. I know guys that are working on the umbilicals, Kim, to be honest with you. It's weird because I've stood right where this picture is taken. I've stood right there. It's bizarre. It's still weird to me. Like, every time I see a launch from Slick 41, I'm like, man,
go at throttle up.
I've stood right there. I've walked all up in here, all down here, all over here, into the flame trench. Yeah, dude, it's weird. It's bizarre. Can't wait to see the BE-4 in flight. Yeah, absolutely. Is that Vulcan? Yep. That's the Pathfinder core stage. It was rolled for fit checks to the pad yesterday. It's pretty cool. It was moved by those little track mobiles. I wish it was still Alco RSD switchers. I disagree in terms of public versus private. Omega didn't set the industry back significantly because there's other options similar to its capability. It's another story when there's no capability available equivalent to what the vehicle can do. Yeah, I suppose if you want to put that caveat on Novus, yeah, that's probably... I mean, I'm fairly confident you know exactly what I was getting at, but yeah, sure. My last about cancellation dropping 15 years behind, please. Oh, you guys have a lot to say about this. Apollo, 15 years. Shuttle, 15 years. The two SSTOs, 30 total. A Constellation, 15. A grand total of 75 years behind. Yeah, pretty much. I mean... I think it'd be easier to say 10. 10 would make more sense because 50 years. Apollo was a half century ago. Do they use the rail from the Fab building? Sweet. What? No. No, this is the ITL, old ITL causeway. This doesn't connect to the VAB. The VAB is over here. Oh yeah, Crash. Yeah, that's not okay. This launch pad, Slick 41, was used for the Titan program. So it started with Titan 3, Titan 3A, Titan 3C, Titan 34D, Titan 3, Titan 4, and then it went out in 2005, and they scrapped the pad in 2007, and not 2007. ULA started using the pad for Atlas 5 right around 05, 06. They transferred over from Slick 36, where they used Atlas 3s. They moved right to Atlas 5. We don't ask about Atlas 4. Don't worry about it. I love your knowledge of space history. Thanks, Kiki. I'm trying to get it right. What, backwards progress in the space industry? Never, yep. Alright, so, this next bit of news is actually pretty interesting. Coming from Sierra Nevada. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, but I think it's also a good caveat to acknowledge that massive setbacks only happens when we have a significant reduction in capability with no alternatives. I mean, that was basically the gist of what I was saying, but yeah, sure. Okay, Sierra Nevada. We unveiled plans for low Earth orbit space station. Leveraging SNC transportation destination technologies. See new image details video of the unique concept of LEO commercialization. Okay. Idea for the truck. Let me see. All I gotta do is put a Holly sniper kit in there, dude. That's all that is. I could do that, W, that's fine. Look up Holly snipers, man. That's what that is. The video is here. That's what I want to see. Vimeo doesn't like dark mode. dare you? How dare you taunt me with this? You pieces of crap! Why would you do that? Ah! What the frick? You freaking fricks! You freaking fricks! When will you learn? Hey. Yeah, no, I got you, no, it's all good, man, it's all good. I see what you're saying. I don't, what the heck is that front landing gear? It's got a skid plate for the front landing gear, Shaw. Where are you gonna put a tire? Seriously, where's the tire gonna go? Into where the people sit? No. Skid plate, save some mass. True story. Yeah, you can't fit a tire up there because the pressure vessel is in the way. So they put a skid plate. What airport is that? How dare they do that? How does it taxi then? I don't know. So, I have questions. Why is the crew access arm going into the upper stage? Why? What are we getting in the fuel tank? Why does it have a mobile launcher and a fixed service and rotating service structure for a shuttle that doesn't exist? And why is it an Atlas V launching from 39A? What the hell? Where's that? Where's that crew arm? That crew arm is not in this picture. Where's this coming from? Dream Chaser's facing the wrong way. What? The fixed service structure, rotating service structure. What the f? Who made this? Who made this? Who made this? Now that's pretty cool.
Hi, I just thought about it, so I wanted to make sure I reminded you that the space shuttle goes on sale at noon tonight. The Lego one?
Oh. Okay.
At midnight, I mean.
Yeah.
Or whatever Lego sells things. I don't know.
You want to buy it?
I know you do, and I know chat wants you to. So
buy one.
I'm gonna be asleep.
Lies. That's pretty cool. So this is Dream Chaser unmanned with the shooting star attachment. It's like a long duration service module for Dream Chaser, so it can stay up in space a lot longer. That's actually really cool. Shooting star is not fake. That's something that they're working on right now. So it looks like they want to make expandable HABs similar to Bigelow, from what I understand. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now this part though. See EVAing in the cabin suit? I don't know. Gonna crop a Pineapple Express there. Oh, God. You freaking fricks. That's Altair. That's the Constellation lander. When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? Well, NASA's Transhab design Gießen is public domain, so anybody can make one. Huh. Let's go to Louisiana. Why is that railing up to that guy's neck? What is that a staircase for? Andre the Giant? Handrails are supposed to be by your hand, not by your elbow. Who made this? It's Thanos-sized. Why? What? Okay, what is this for again? Sorry, okay. Boop. Boop. Maybe you're looking at a little person. Okay, maybe. That's true. Okay, let's see. No, okay, serious note. The video aside. Alright, Sierra Nevada Corporation, the global aerospace and national security company owned by Aaron and Fatih Osman, outlined development plans for its low Earth orbit space station, leveraging its transportation and destination technologies, releasing new images and details and a video of the unique concept in support of low Earth orbit commercialization. The space station is a configuration of multiple large inflatable life habitats that can be serviced by both cargo and crew carrying Dream Chaser space planes. There's no scalable space travel industry without a space plane. I mean, Aaron's not wrong. You're not wrong. I like space planes. Dream Chaser and its runway landing offer the scalable preferred solution for humans and science in support of a vibrant low Earth orbit economy. SNC also released that a crewed Dream Chaser will be able to shuttle private astronauts and to serve as the only vehicle capable of rescuing astronauts from a space destination and returning to Earth via a safe and speedy runway landing. Among the industries that have demonstrated interests in space-based operations, in space manufacturing, such as 3D printing, pharmaceutical and medical research. That's big. Let's get Big Pharma in on space. We'll have a space hotel in like a week. Agricultural production, food and science, movie production, tourism. Tourism. I know, it was a joke. Mr. EJ, I don't feel so good. Dream Chaser, America's spaceplane, is a reusable multi-mission space utility vehicle. Dream Chaser Tenacity and the Dream Chaser Tenacity spaceplane and the Shooting Star transport vehicle will be providing cargo delivery and disposal services for the ISS under the Commercial Resupply Services 2 contract late next year. The Life Habitat is a 3-story, 27-foot large inflatable fabric environment that launches on a conventional rocket and inflates on orbit. The Life Habitat is undergoing a NASA soft goods certification this year, and the full-size ground prototype developed under NASA's Next Step 2 contract is in the process of being transferred from Johnson Space Center in Texas to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida for further testing on short and long-term habitation. SNC's Astro Garden system also provides fresh food within the habitat. NASA has asked private industry to come to the table with alternatives to the International Space Station, said Janet Kavandi, former NASA astronaut and SSG Executive Vice President of Sierra Nevada Space Systems. SNC intends to lead in low Earth orbit commercialization, building on NASA's efforts to date and welcoming additional public and private partners worldwide. The first Dream Chaser orbital vehicle is being assembled in Louisville, Colorado. Thermal protection tiles are being installed on the vehicle's exterior and wings and its wings will be attached this summer. Say it again. Asia. Whoa. Cool. Hey. Hey, you. I really like that. That's really nice. Just on a side note, I don't hate it. Oh. 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 Just gave me some tingles. Brazilian-made plane. Boom. Where's the last pictures of oh no. Stop it. Whoa. There it is. Military is looking into replacing A-10s with a Super Military is looking into replacing A-10s with that? With that piece of junk? Ugh. 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 Hey, Lavi, I got an idea. Let's just save money with the systems that defend us. Yeah, let's just save money there. Right, let's just save money. Just save money. Just, oh, we can't spend so much money. Let's just save money. What bad could happen from that? I seem to recall the Vietnam War when we thought we could save money by using smaller ammunition and a plastic rifle. Yeah, that went well. That went real well. Yeah. Oh my god. Clown shoes, man. Yeah, that's a giant myth. Oh, okay. Interesting, Aiden. All right, anyway, let's keep going. So, what did they say here? We're celebrating engineers and their contributions for this week. One of the contributions by SN engineers, the Life Habitat, which protects astronauts living inside our large inflatable fabric environment habitat. That's cool, man. That's really cool. That's what happens when you don't issue cleaning kits. Yeah, you got to save money because you don't need to clean it, right? Smell that? Smell that, guys? That smells like horse poop. Smells good. What the hell? This is the size of the cannon on an A10. How about we just not do that? Let's just not do that, okay? Let's just not do that. Even though SNC didn't win the contract from NASA to send astronauts to the ISS, I caution not to count out Dream Chaser running out for passenger space travel. No, Chief, no haircut. How does that thing compare to Skylab? Two of these is about the size of a Skylab King from what I can see here. Do you know your space program? Yeah, Rafa. The 2 launches from Alcantara and 2 failures from Alcantara, and then they said, nah, never mind. Yeah, I know all about it. NASA Office of Investigator General. How much will COVID-19 cost NASA? Nearly $3 billion over the next several years, according to agency estimates. Here's a snapshot of how supply chain disruptions, launch readiness delays, and other factors impacted NASA's major programs and projects. Oh, dear. Lovely. I don't want to look at that. I'll look at that later. Alright, let's keep going. So this one's coming from Axiom Space. Axiom Space has a contract with NASA to add modules to the space station over the next couple of years. Let's see. The windows of the Axiom Earth Observatory cupola will be the largest ever construction for space. Seen here, our window frame is being rinsed prior to a chemical coating that will ensure corrosion protection. This milestone sets up the remainder of the window test program. Yep. Yep. I wonder what they're putting on it. Zinc, maybe? What's the difference between the A10C and the A10? I don't know. The letter. Skylab was cool. Yeah, it was a good idea. And then we decided we didn't want to do it anymore, King, because... herder. I gotta save money. Herder. Yeah, so Axiom's cupola module is huge, guys. Here, I'll show you. There's one of those segments right there. See? Yep. That's what they're working on. I see issues with that window. See Comet. The edges are beveled, Tessa. Actually, Tessa, look at the relief. I think they'll be fine. See the relief in there? Yeah. De Havilland. Still. De Havilland, you're welcome. That's yeah, that should be the motto of that company. De Havilland, you're welcome. Why did it need a window that big? What science can you do with that? It's for tourism, dude. Yeah, airborne body shops are great. I mean, de Havilland basically sacked itself from the comet, so everybody else learned from that. Everyone, Boeing, Lockheed, Douglas, Tupolev, Antonov, Ilyushin, they all copied the circle window design. De Havilland basically saved millions of lives by having a couple of people get killed on those planes. Yeah, they basically sacked themselves for the safety of air travel. Just think they were a bit slower developing it. It would be Boeing that screwed up. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. I surprised my friend with an automaton gift thanks to your stream. Needless to say, they loved it. Oh yeah? Automatons are pretty cool, huh? Sasha says yes. Yeah, so Tessa, de Havilland, you're welcome. All right. Next space news. Yeah, and that's how insurance works. Airborne, like I said, you got mad at nothing. Did you see where Tim Dodd is trying to get on the Hello Moon mission? The Dear Moon mission. Yes, Bomb. Mm-hmm. Alright, next thing. Sierra Nevada Corporation, this is Mike Sheets, so this is more about that. Sierra Nevada unveils its design for a modular, inflatable private space station, which Executive Vice President Janet Kavandi, I'm not sure I'm saying her name right, says the company plans to launch before the end of this decade. SNC's space station is based around its three-story inflatable life habitat, which the company says can comfortably sleep 4 astronauts with room for research, exercise, and activities. So much room for activities. And a medical center. Yeah, it's pretty rad. That's pretty freaking cool. Neat. What is the lifespan? I'm not sure. Is the interior inflatable too? Yes. Even the autopilot is inflatable. Yeah? 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 Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. All right.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
You don't want to be the stewardess doing the reinflation. We got to reignite the autopilot. Reinflate the autopilot. She'll do it. I'm having trouble inflating it. Okay. Starship news. Starship news. Starship news. Let's see what we got. RGV posted a bunch of pictures here of the landing site. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, that looks nice. Ooh, that Can-Am got messed up. Ooh. 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 Hey, where's the other Raptor engine? Flat Tour. So, there's clearly one right there. There's clearly another one right there. There's the thrust puck. Where's the last Raptor? I think that might be some of it right there, maybe? Maybe? I mean... It's on the road. Oh. Well, it did look like that. So RGV is a guy that goes and takes aerial photos of the Starship website. Go check him out on Twitter. Consider the Patreon, my guys. Is that it right there? Oh, there is a lot There's a lot of parts just chilling out here. Guys, everything that I'm seeing here is consistent with flight termination, to be honest with you. Last for the final Raptor, right there. Are we sure that's a Raptor? Oh, wow, that thing is pancaked. Hoppy's okay, though. Did you see Scott's video? I haven't yet. I don't know, dude. I don't know what happened here. I don't think the FAA is going to be happy about it. Why? SpaceX complied with everything. The FAA safety officer was there. Dude, this is... There's a composite overwrap right there. Man, that is one heck of a blast. Dude, I think this is a flight termination. The thing is absolutely shredded. Like, totally shredded. Like, okay, so look. That's a shear right there. It sheared that steel right in half. Airborne, unlikely. It was probably the AFTS. This is what's left of 11. And once again, these pictures, as always, coming from RGV Aerial. Make sure you go over there and support him when you can, please. Oh, man. All right. So some things to note right here. The fence. The fence is completely knocked over. All of it. All of the fence is knocked over. See it? You can see its pilings right there, and it's completely sheared off, and it completely fell over. So that tells me there was one heck of an explosion going that way. There's one of the COPVs right there. There's some dude walking. What are you doing, stepladder? Dude, I don't even see an impact point here. All right, let's take a look. So, I don't understand. I honestly, guys, I don't know. I really have no idea. Looking at the debris field right here, everything went north, okay? This is north. North is, the coastline goes north, okay? So, come on, hand. That way is north. That way is south, right? So, what's confusing the hell out of me, okay? This is just, I don't understand what happened here. I'm trying to, like, visualize this in my head, and I have nothing. So this is clearly the front, obviously. You have the front wings right there. There's the two front flaps. It's also very clear that this thing is straight up. So the wings fold this way, right? And they're not like down towards the ground. They're still folded up. So that means this thing hit with the Z-axis orientation hitting the ground first. So it basically landed just like that. That's the front of Starship, right? What I don't understand is if this thing landed, if you took Starship and you bellied it on its side, right? This would be the right orientation. This is the top. This is the starboard. That's port, and then the bottom is down the bottom, aft, and stern and aft, right? Or stern and bow right here. So bow and stern, right? So that orientation is port, starboard, bow, stern. Okay. What I don't get is why the heck are the Raptor engines in front of that? The Raptor engines are up the street. They're up the street about 100 meters. How does that even happen? They did a lot of work on the flight termination system. Yeah, what do you think of this? Let me see, Novalite. I'll have to look at Corey's thing. The engines are supposed to point towards the fuel farm during the landing burn. Scott and Michael Baylor said apparently it wasn't the FTS. Okay, so the flight termination system is still up in the air here. I'm trying to figure out what could get the vehicle to have the Raptor engines land in front of the nose. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a picture of Starship. Just in case anybody hasn't, let me go through RGV's pictures here. Actually, we could go... So, that's SN15's nose cone. This is the part that hit the ground. So the wings are facing up, right? That section right there on 11 is that, right? And it very clearly hit the ground with the bottom side. So the side that would have tiles on it facing the ground, okay? What I don't get is how these are about 100, they're about 100 meters down the road this way, in front of it. How does that... Okay, let's look at that picture from Corey. So, Seabass here, Corey he was a 3D artist that does Starship stuff with Neopork. Wind, maybe it flipped. That makes no sense to me. So, audio from SN11's RUD overlaid on SN10's landing. Seems the RUD comes from right after the third engine ignites. That combined with the fact that I can't find the third Raptor in RGV's photos leads me to think that a Raptor had a major malfunction. Okay, let's see.
That didn't sound great. That didn't sound great. That didn't sound great.
Huh. Yeah, Hellfish, we know. I know it kaboomed in midair, and you guys are saying... See, you guys all keep saying, oh, leverage, leverage, leverage. You know, oh, it's the leverage, it's the wind. It just kept going on a ballistic trajectory. But here's the thing, fellas. If the Raptor engines are firing... right here. Hang on. I need to see... Let me look at something. I'd assume that SN10 and SN11 are on a similar trajectory, okay? So let's... So, look. Alright, look. Watch. Watch the wings. The top wings fold up. So we know from SN11's crash that it got to this point. Well, the top section did, with power. The bottom could have blown up. Alright, I just need to see how the thing lands. Okay, look. See, here's why this makes no sense. Look at the orientation of the vehicle. The top is facing towards Hoppy. See it? But on SN11, the bottom is facing towards Hoppy. How did that turn 180 degrees around? You see what I'm saying? Maybe the weight of the LOX header tank. But the weight of the LOX header tank wouldn't invoke roll on the vehicle. That doesn't work that way. That's not how physics work. Because explosions generally don't cause roll. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. This doesn't make any sense unless the vehicle okay. Something I noticed is that the Raptor that fired pointed down to push the nose into the ground right before the feed freezes. So Nick Hanning did a render. Let's see. What does Nick's render look like? Let's see. See, every other starship came in from over here, not this way. And I'm not sure how... Yeah, maybe. See, this thing, once again, it rolls. There's no... That's weird, man. What the hell happened to this thing? Yeah, you guys say, oh, well, look at it. It's nose first. Look at it. It's nose first. That still doesn't explain that. Okay, great. It's nose first. How did the nose cone, if the thing is coming in from the angle over Hoppy, how did it do 180 degrees and land? I'm trying to picture in my head how this works. Nose down does whatever. So what? That's like saying, oh, a car got a flat tire because the headlights weren't on. All right. Thank you. Turn the ship 180 degrees, and that explains the engines ended up west of the nose. Flat spin. Could they have tried to land into the wind? The winds were going north, Blacklist, and if it landed from the angle that Nick had it land at, that would have been a tailwind to Starship, which I'm pretty sure that's not what they want. Yeah, Erebor's like, okay, good. You know, like, oh, it's so. What? Okay, what I'm getting at here is that every indicator here, from how the engine and the debris got tossed around, is indicative of yaw on Starship during the belly flap maneuver. So the thing was spinning laterally, right? It was induced yaw. That's everything points to that. Why? Why, though? Fog equals no wind. Yeah, that's right. No HLS news. No. Yeah, Trevor's photos. Yeah. Let me look at Trevor's pictures. It's very interesting. So, like, I didn't want to do a deep dive into this the other day because I was tired, but... So, these are coming from my buddy Trevor. He takes pictures for ours. And he has his own photos. So... Great photos, by the way. Yeah, look at that. It is yawing. It's yawing to the right. Yaw right there, relative to the vehicle. Yeah, see, something else went wrong there. I'm pretty sure something else went wrong. Not just a raptor popping and destroying the vehicle. Everything is here. All right, let's see. Let's check out Trevor's stuff. Interesting. Maybe a hydraulic failure on one of the wings. Guys, I think that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that the landing burn blew this thing up. Everything in my gut is telling me that this thing popped because it was flying incorrectly. It also did a weird pitch up right before ignition. Go back and look at the SpaceX footage. It appears to be yawing during the belly flop. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see. Raptor engine detonates itself, which fractures the thrust puck, which cracks the LOX tank. Non-symmetrical breakup of the tank introduces tumble on the nose cone. That still doesn't... Yeah, Erebors, I suppose, but that still doesn't explain the orientation of the nose. Like, dude, it's so hard to explain visually what I'm talking about. The vehicle is going to have to be yawing around to get the engines to land 100 meters out in front of the nose cone when the nose cone is pointed at the engines. You understand? Like, that's... If it did the flip and the engines exploded, like what people are saying, right? So the engines fired, the wings went down, right? It did the flip. If that was the case, the nose cone would be upside down and the engines would have exploded that way. This thing is indicative of the thing trying to correct. It's trying to correct, and it went out over the road, right? So it tried to yaw during landing, and it blew up. The engines went that way, and the nose cone kept spinning. That's because it was trying to yaw and the nose cone kept spinning, and it landed pointed towards the engines. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, all right, here, let's check it out. I don't think there was time for the flip to occur. Wood says it's flight termination system from his SpaceX contacts. Yeah, okay.
Waiting to reestablish video connection with the vehicle. We have at the Starbase facilities. As we get close to land, we will ignite the 3 Raptor engines, flip to vertical, and then land on the thrust of a single Raptor engine.
It's yawing.
40 seconds of counting,
yeah, see?
Like
yeah, the thing is doing this. Yeah, I see it. I see it, guys. Yeah, yeah, look. Yeah, see? This thing is doing that. It's side-slipping like crazy. Well, it's not there. It corrected.
T plus 5 minutes. We're passing through 5 kilometers. A nice view from the exterior camera.
It is again. There it goes again.
Flaps on the Starship test vehicle number 11.
What is that? What does that flight controller say?
T plus 5 minutes. We're passing through 5 kilometers. A nice view from the exterior camera, showing one of the flaps on the Starship test vehicle number 11.
He said something about downrange and cross range. Something's wrong with this, Thomas. Something is very wrong. Oh, jeez.
Altitude. 1 kilometer altitude.
T plus 545, we've just passed through 1 kilometer altitude, getting ready for the relay.
Well, Jim, it's not in a total flat spin, but you see it yawed one way, and then it yawed another, and then it nosed up a little bit, and then it sounds like you get more Raptor ignition than the sounds on the ground. Like, here, I don't want to boost the sound too much, but listen, just listen. I'll mute the mic for a second.
2 kilometers altitude.
Getting ready for the relay.
1 kilometer altitude.
T plus 545, we've just passed through 1 kilometer altitude, getting ready for the relay.
See what I'm talking about? Before you hear the thing pop, the engine's on for a good while. For about 5 seconds. The right engine doesn't seem to gimbal the same way as the other ones. Is that normal? Well, let's check. I'm looking at up there. Yeah, maybe.
Altitude.
Whose audio is that, Phil? Is that NSF's audio? Okay, I don't know this person, so I don't want to show it without asking. Here, let's load up the NSF
Discovery,
footage.
go at throttle up.
Hey, Synerd. Let's listen. What's Matt's audio sound like? It's weird. That poor yucca plant. That poor yucca plant. Watch the plant. Das pointed this out. Wrecked! Oh, oh. 15 is the next one, Willie. That poor plant. Rip yucca plant. Sneaky, watch over here. See? There's the nose. How the heck does the nose end up pointing at the Raptor engines, which are over here? That's so bizarre. Yeah, 12, 13, and 14 got scrapped because they were this design. 15 is a new design. Yeah, Synard, we know it went boom midair, but hang on. Let me go over here. So look. Take a look here, okay? So the vehicle's coming down. Like, say this is the landing pad, all right? Say the grid is the landing pad. Starship's coming down like this, right? And what I can't figure out, what's confusing me is that, okay, so the nose cone of Starship finds its way over here, right? It finds its way out here like this, right? And it's right by the road, and it's pointed that way, right? What I can't figure out, and I'm not sure what the cause of it is, I have no idea, okay? It's coming in like this, and I would assume that it flipped over like, it was going to flip over like this and land, right? Or if what Trevor was saying, if what Trevor saw was correct, it was coming the other way and coming in like this, right? If it was coming in like this and it popped during ignition, that would explain all the engines over here, okay? That would explain all the engines kind of up the road, right? But that's not what happened. Actually, you know what would be a good thing to do here? Let me just take this, right? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to work on something here for a moment. How do I do it? All right, I'm going to try to superimpose a picture here. Let me let me see if we can just use one of RGV's pictures. Hold on. Does he have a picture of the entire landing site here? There's a picture of the landing site. There's a picture of the pad. I messed up. Pad view showing nose going to Raptor location. I don't get it. We would need to know which way this was coming in, which way the vehicle was oriented. This is a weird one, man. I mean, obviously there was a high-energy mid-air explosion. I just don't think that anything... And, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of rocket fuel left inside of the header tanks, but I don't even think a header tank explosion would cause debris to be strewn this freaking far. I really think it's the flight termination system. It looks, just by how the debris field is kind of spread out, it looks like this thing was out over the launch site, over the fuel tank farm when it exploded. And that's kind of concurrent with how all that debris ends up coming down. Would the RCS be on at that point? Yeah. If it exploded mid-swing, it would eject the engines out sideways. The nose cone is not oriented correctly for that to happen, Mink. I need a whole picture of the entire landing area. Here we go. This'll work. All right, let's go back over here. Give me 1 second. I gotta remember how to do this. All right. All right, here, I'll show you what I'm talking about here, guys. So, watch. Let me, all right, I gotta UV this. Give me 1 second. Oh man, this is dusting off some things here. Give me 1 second. So once again, I'm just taking one of our RGB's pictures, and I just want to show you guys what I'm thinking. There we go. All right, that'll work. Picture's kind of stretched a little bit. Okay, so take a look. All right. So Starship, the front of this thing. Let me get the channel editor out. So 0, 0 out the rotation, and then take this and translate 0. All right, so. Take a look, okay? What I can't figure out, and this is what really is kind of just weird, right? Take a look. So I have my little poopy Starship model, right? The nose cone, where did the nose land? The nose landed right there, right? But the engines are over here. The engines are over by this parking lot. They're up here, up on the road. I don't understand how, once again, it doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. How, like, and it's not that it doesn't make sense. I'm not trying to imply that something weird happened here. It definitely exploded. All the debris is out over here, and the engines are over here. What I don't get is how that happens when the nose cone is facing that direction. That makes no sense to me. A backflip? Well, if Starship was coming down in for a landing, right? If Starship was coming down like this, right? And it fired the engines and it did a backflip, right? And it blew up, how does the nose cone land over here right side up? It must have some other type of rotational force imparted on the vehicle. So they're once again, it must have been doing this somehow. And keep in mind, the explosion could have made it do that. It usually comes down over the launch pads, right? So, once again, I'll say that you see what I'm trying to say? That doesn't make any sense. If it's coming down over the launch pads this way, right, like SN10 and 9 and 8, and does the flip, and it lands, See, that doesn't make any sense to me. How's it gonna do that? So I have two blocks right where the FTS is. I was showing it to somebody when I modeled this the other day. Yeah, Black Stew, of course. I'm just kind of showing what I don't understand. I'm not trying to prove anything here. I'm trying to figure it out. How in the name of Gingy does that thing land like that and the engines land up the street? I don't get it. That makes no sense. Dude, that must have been one hell of an explosion. Like, the engines are quite literally up the street. They're by the hopper. See hopper? See the hopper right there? The nose cone is over there, and it's pointed that way. Let me check, Mutter. Let's do some spelunking here. Not spelunking. So you said, going back to the SpaceX footage, T plus 5 minutes. T plus 5 minutes. Wouldn't the sun be off to the right, east since morning, making the nose roughly south-southeast before the flip? Yeah, the sun's definitely over there, right? Because of the way the shadow's being cast, right? Yeah, 62, some kind of catastrophic explosion. So that means... Okay, so if the nose cone is pointing south-southeast, Mutter... Huh. Yeah, the sun's definitely over there. The sun's like that way almost. Like it's shining this way. So that would mean southeastern, right? Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's correct. So that means so southeast here would be this. Would mean it's coming in this way. Which begs the question again, how the heck did the nose cone end up the way it did? I don't... Dude, I don't have an answer. Fellas, I don't have an answer at all. That... Nope. Nope. I got nothing. No, that's wrong. Steel bounces. Nose cone could have jumped a few times and tumbled. I don't know. Yeah, that makes no sense. So, somebody said it's not facing that direction. I don't understand. What does that mean? Nose cone has canards. But the canards don't do this. They do this. They flap. Yeah, but Tessa, once again, you guys are saying, oh, well, it did during the flip maneuver, Well, during the flip maneuver, it starts like this, and then it flips over. So, if there was an explosion when it's coming down like this, right? Which is pretty much from what we understand, right? So Starship is coming down like this. It fires an engine. You guys are saying that it doesn't have enough time to do the flip. So that would mean point of rud is like this. Right? So how does the nose cone yaw? Where does that imparted yaw force come from? And then how does the nose cone land over here like that? That's weird, man. That must have been one hell of an explosion. Bounces? Bounces. Bounces. Bikes. Dudes, maybe. I'm not going to rule that out. But also at the same time, I don't think we realize how big that subassembly is. That thing is huge, man. There's no way that thing bounces. And the landing legs are by the tank farm. What the hell happened here? I don't understand. Yeah, see, the landing legs are out by NSF's cameras. What the hell happened here, man? That's one hell of an explosion. Because it's pitching and the pitch continues after it spins off. Yeah, see, Tessa, you guys, yeah, pitch. Yeah, I know. But see, there's a problem with that. You guys, aren't paying attention, so, or I'm not making myself clear, which is fine. So if Starship, well, I'll tell you again, just to be sure. So if Starship is coming in like this, okay? See the two blocks? The two blocks are the top. That's the top of Starship, right? That's where the explosives are, right? It's coming in like this, right? The wings fold, right? So that means it folds over. Tessa, if that's the case, that means that this thing, the nose cone, would... there's your explosion, and then the nose cone would come down, and it would land upside down in that spot. But the thing is, Tessa, is that we can tell pretty clearly that that nose cone didn't land like this. It landed like that. It landed right side up. So where does that, once again, I'll ask, where does that yaw force coming from? Where's the yaw force coming from? That doesn't make any sense. Are we sure the nose cone is the right way? Yeah. Yeah, of course. The grid, not the grid fins, the control surfaces are pointing upright. See? Take a look. The control surfaces are still in the upright position. This is the top of Starship. That's the top. The belly hit the ground. Aero-induced tumble. Yeah. That's weird. That is super weird. Hard to say if it didn't flip when it exploded. Yeah, maybe, but once again, flipping would cause a pitch force on this thing over anything, right? How did it yaw into that position? Because the engines are over there. The engines are about 100 meters that way, or about 300 feet that way. Well, two of the engines are over there, and another engine is about 100 feet that way. So, I see what you guys are saying. It came in like this, the engines fired, it flipped, it exploded, the engines went that way, and the nose cone came down like this, right? That's bizarre, dude. What the heck? What happened here? Every time I look at this, I just get more confused. Could it yaw if the methane tank ruptured on the side? I guess it's possible. Non-uniform explosion. I keep coming back to that FDS work. I think flight termination system, dude. The FDS did something. It did something, but I have... That's weird, man. That is a weird anomaly. I hope that's something with SN 8, 9, 10, and 11's design and not so much Starship or anything. I hope that's like plumbing oriented, because I know on 15 they have different plumbing. The plumbing is all different on 15 than it is on 8 than it was on 8, 9, 10, and 11. That's crazy, man. What? Dude, this everything here is indicative of a flight termination. With a flight termination system, you really don't find any intact parts of the vehicle. So Bowen Cameron and Ryan Hansen did this. Yeah, see, look. The LOX downcomer is over there. How is the downcomer over there? And the Raptors, which the downcomer is connected to, is over here. What the frick happened here? The CH-4 header tank is perfectly split. Yeah, this is a flight termination, guys. Something went wrong with this. There's a skirt piece over there. I don't understand how the back of it can land in front of the thing. That's crazy to me, man. Yeah, no, Sneaky, that's flight termination system, man. All day. If it didn't flight terminate, or like I won't even rule out that it was strictly flight termination. It's some kind of catastrophic explosion in midair. Something really bad happened. Read that text. They attempt to explain it. Okay. We see a few things in the image to the left. A nose cone, which is near the pad. 2 Raptors and a thrust puck near Hopper. Many skirt pieces and other debris. From the placing of the debris, we attempted to deduce the cause of the flight test failure. We still miss some key things. Where are the aft flaps? Yeah, the back of it, the whole back of the thing is completely gone. The only parts we've found that they've been able to highlight conclusively is... Yeah. These are the only parts that they found. Huh. Can you explain to me what happens in the flight termination? Well, with flight termination, there's two big bricks of C4 right here and right here. And when they explode, it severs Starship in two pieces. The flight tested the flaps to new extremes. During the controlled descent, SpaceX rotated SN11 180 degrees laterally, which was visible in Trevor Melman's photos. Yeah, that's right. This placed Starship's nose cone pointing towards the pad during landing, with the skirt pointing towards Lab Padre, NSF, and Everyday Astronauts cameras. Okay. With the engines relit, a single engine failure caused rapid depressurization. Smoke like the third S should base off the audio matching with this intense flight. This is rafter number 52. The culprit. Three-light sequence followed that SN10. Engines don't cause rapid depressurization, though, guys. Flight termination systems do. Okay, hear me out. C4. Who comes to mind when you think of C4? Mythbusters. Myth busted. It was Adam and Jamie. New season of Mythbusters. Yep. Okay. The depressurization could have been a methane leak. Occam's razor. The only thing on Starship that can cause a rapid depressurization of the tanks are the tank vents, which is not rapid. That's just depressurization, and the explosives. I think it was off course. I think this thing was off course, and they blew it up because it was coming down in the wrong spot. That's the only thing I can think of. Well, you bet it was the ULA sniper? I hope that sniper must have had a FLIR sneaky because he shot the thing in midair. It's a pretty awesome sniper, if you ask me. Said the guy's name was Bob Lee Swagger. I never met the man, though. I really think it was the FTS, but stuff like this throws a wrench in it. Michael Baylor is saying, for what it's worth, I understand the flight termination system was not utilized as being speculated, but looking forward to more details with space. They do if an engine explodes and punctures the tank. Tessa, you've been watching too many Hollywood movies. You ever seen the Mythbusters shoot a gas tank before? Stuff doesn't blow up when you puncture it, dude. That's not how this works. Interesting. It could have automatically been. It could have been an AFTS, guys. That's kind of where I'm coming down to. I still don't understand, dude. What kind of violent explosion made it do this? Because from everything that we can see from Trevor's pictures, the thing is coming down like this. It's coming down right here, like that. See what I'm talking about? It causes rapid decompression. Where are the NSF cameras located? Right where that parking lot is. Tim, Lab Padre, and NSF are right here. And they're looking this way. See, it just doesn't make sense. That means the thing is coming in like that. Still doesn't explain how the nose cone ended up the way that it did. Man. We've seen the nose cone fly off on other explosions, but once again, dude, the nose cone. Look, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. The nose cone, let me center pivot that, hold on. So the nose cone wound up over here. That's a weird one, man. Some kind of big freaking explosion. And we also know that the control surfaces were like this, basically, when it crashed. That's weird. I don't have an answer. Scott Manley said he talked to some people from SpaceX and they said their data didn't show an FTS triggering. Yeah, I'm saying what I think, but it's some kind of explosion. Clearly high altitude. Or higher altitude. It wasn't near landing, so at ignition, probably say about 500 meters off the ground if I had to guess, because they were well below a kilometer. Was there audio? Yeah, the audio is basically, you hear a Raptor firing for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then you hear a big pop, and then you hear a bunch of fuel tanks crashing into the ground. I think you're perseverating over largely not important details. If the flight termination system was triggered, RJ, sure. Who the heck dropped this grain silo on my house? Trust me, this is coming from someone who does this all the time. Yeah, I know, and Seinert, I'll be honest, you're kind of pissing me off. The reason why you're pissing me off is I'm trying to figure out how the vehicle was flying. If I can figure out how the vehicle was flying, you can figure out where the explosion came from. But no, I'm perseverating on stuff too much. So here, I'll just save it and do that on my own time. I don't want to bore you or anything. Here, let's go on to the next news. I'll mess with my own time. Let's see what we got here. We'll finish up space news with some NASA spaceflight videos. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Mutter, it's interesting, right? So there's the Chunguska. Bolshoi Chunguska. Yeah, see that one's weird, man. I don't understand this. I think HLS, but you know. Timeline on 15. They moved it to the high bay for stacking this afternoon. So, the nose cone clearly has a wing actuator, or what's left of one. They may have taken it off. It's clearly unfinished. All right. Does it have any RCS on it or anything? Let me take a look. It does. It does have RCS. It has pitch RCS and it has yaw RCS on it. Interesting. And it has the old kind of hooks. This is the old kind of fastening system. There's a prototype nose cone that has a different type of crane fastening system. I would assume it's to be able to hoist this thing easier. They'll probably put the wing on with EVA construction. I see what you did there. See, what I want to know is why these I-beams right here are thinner than those ones. Or it could just be the angle, but yeah, that might just be the angle. It looks like this one and those ones are thicker than that, but it might just be the angle. A welding jig. It received an aero cover today, so it's not HLS related. Yeah, they crank it out, Taj. Assembly line. That's what they're trying to do. All that plumbing seems very concurrent with a starship that's flying. That looks exactly like SN11. All the pneumatic lines are right there, and then there's all the mounts for everything else. And then there's the holes for the vents. That jig is going to hold all the tiles to the craft while they set, my guess. That's not a bad guess, Smirks. Whitey, yeah, that's funny. Well, that's pretty cool, Thomas. There's BN1. I don't know, Chevy. Hard to say. Hard to say, dude. Testing new construction methods. Guys, I don't know. Elon's saying BN1 is a manufacturing pathfinder, so it will be scrapped. We learned a lot, but we've already changed the design to BN2. Goal is to get BN2 with engines on orbital pad before the end of April. It might even be orbit capable if we're lucky. It was going to be SN12's nose cone per a paper tag that was on it. Okay. Ferd. Did you hear that Ingenuity flight is being postponed because there's still no FAA inspector on site? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. Totally makes sense. Oh my god. That's good, man. That's really good. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I needed to check something here. Huh. Allied, what are you saying, buddy? Oh, hey guys, don't get at each other. No, Signer, I get what Signer was saying, and I'll figure it out on my own time. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm over it. You guys should be too. Nice picture from Jack. I'll show that in a second, Thomas. I just wanted to see this, but I needed to send a message out. Yeah, they added the extension piece, Katra. I see that. They extended the boom, right? And they took the jib mast off. I saw that. Well, I can see it right there. It used to be over here somewhere, so they made it taller. I'm guessing they made it taller to not just be able to move starships around, but be able to move boosters around as well, or at least install the gantry up there. Did you see that Elon is now on the board of directors for UFC? No? Interesting, though. Thoughts on locals protesting Starship in Boca Chica? I'm sure they're legitimate concerns, but I don't... I'll admit, Aiden, it's really hard for me to make judgment on that. Because I don't think I should even I don't think I should even give you my thoughts on that, because I'm so ridiculously biased towards SpaceX. It's probably not like I probably can't give you a level-headed answer there. I'm sure the people have legitimate concerns with what's going on, but also at the same time, I don't necessarily get how one of the richest men in the world literally pumping billions of dollars into your local economy could be a bad thing. But once again, you know, if the guy's gonna buy you out of house and home and put you on the street, then I mean, I don't know. It really kind of depends on what they're protesting, I guess. But once again, I don't think I should say what I think, because I'm so heavily biased towards SpaceX because I love SpaceX that I don't think I could give you a straight answer. You know what I mean? It's April 1st here already, so... They claim SpaceX has only used the site... They claim that SpaceX has only used the site for destructive testing. Do they not see the orbital launch pad there? So in the case of having fog on test day, do we prefer a scrub? Jebs, I don't have any say in that, to be honest with you. I'd prefer clear optics on a launch day so I can see what's going on, so I don't have to sit here and go into Maya and try and figure out what happened. But yeah. And wait, somebody tipped that Tim lost $20,000 worth of gear during yesterday's incident? Oof, I hope he has insurance on that. Is that what Timmy said, or are we speculating there? I know I'd hate it if I have to regularly evacuate my house. I'm pretty sure, from what I've heard from the people that have people that sold their houses to SpaceX guys, I'm fairly confident that SpaceX offered double what the retail value of their house is. That seems to be what's going on. But once again, you know, people don't want to move their house. Nobody wants to uproot themselves. I get that. I understand. That Tim claim is unknown, as they are not allowed to check on the equipment. Got it. Insurance won't cover it, but they don't yet know the extent of the damages. Yeah, it's okay. When you listen to Mary's audio, you can hear an explosion and then silence right after Raptor ignition, which is why I think it was definitely Raptor causing the run. Yeah. See, everybody here is like, oh yeah, I'd sell to SpaceX. I'd sell to SpaceX. Would you though? I mean, the fact that you love what SpaceX does, don't you think that Don't you think that that would, you know, kind of influence your opinion? The people there aren't space fans, guys. So this is why I said it's probably not good that I give like an opinion about it, because I'm sure the folks there have a legitimate concern, you know, or else they wouldn't be saying anything. And you got to listen to people. You have to. You can't just be like, nah, screw them. That's not what we do. That's not what we do in this country. That's a bad idea. The second you do that is the second, like, you got to figure out an intermediary right there. I'd stay like Mary. Oh, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I wouldn't mind evacuating. Sure, why not? I mean, but once again, we're all space fans there. You got to understand that there might be people that live in Boca Chica that don't want to move their house, and they don't want a freaking launch pad next to their house either. Not everybody's a space nutcase like we are, guys. Like, that's something, yeah, I know it's hard for us to understand, but you know, like, it's, I'm sure whatever they're on about is legitimate concern, you know? I'd like a free show in my backyard every few weeks. Yeah, but we're all space fans here. That's the thing, man. How do you suppose having that launch site is affecting housing insurance? Yeah, I don't know. I might actually not sell to SpaceX. Instead, I'd make more money. I'd make more than enough money to buy a second home by allowing people to use small parts of my yard to set up cameras to watch what SpaceX is doing. Yeah? Yeah? I mean, pretty sure that's what Mary is doing. Not everybody's cool like us. No, that's not what I said, Damage. I'm saying that not everybody's into space, and I get that. Not everybody's gonna be in freaking space nutcase. This is why when I'm out in public, I only talk about space if I'm asked. That's my rule. And even when I do, if somebody asks me about what's going on, I say, "Are you sure you want to do this? How detailed of an explanation do you want? You know, how detailed of an explanation do you want?" I get that people are wrong. Oh my God. How much time do you have? Have you ever heard about the Gear Wars? Oh, I envy you. No. Apparently it's about the nature reserve that surrounds the site. Fair, there's a bunch of debris sitting in said nature reserve right now. I'd be a little pissed if I liked birds. I mean, that's probably screwing up the local ecosystem a little bit. But yeah, like, once again, I don't want to delegitimize these folks' concerns, and even though that's my gut feeling to do that. Yeah, whatever. Birds, really? That's what we're gonna worry about? We're trying to make the species multiplanetary, and you're gonna worry about frigging birds? No, that's what a child does. That's not what I do. I mean, sometimes. No, it's, hey, you got to work with these folks. They were there first. I wouldn't want somebody going and doing this to me. I wouldn't want somebody saying, like, you got to be out of here. You have to evac your house. Oh, sorry, a bunch of debris just showered over your backyard. My bad. I'd be pissed. I wouldn't want that happening in my backyard. I don't blame these folks. The birds are fine at KSC because they found a symbiosis with the ecosystem, human. You know? So that's just, hey, I'm sure these people's concerns are legitimate. EJ hates birds, confirmed. Well, I can't hate something that doesn't exist. It's like how we complain about how people who moved in after an airport was put in complaint and we say it's stupid. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. That's the thing. These folks were here first. SpaceX, Boca Chica Village was there 50 years before SpaceX even was a thing. So they were there first. There are people who live at golf courses that hate golf. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, okay, Papa. I got you. It's interesting. How much money do people get for evacuation? I have no idea. So this was Mary's view. I never said these people use logic, Seiner. Whatever that pop was a damn big explosion. I think we can all agree on that. Or move close to racetracks and complain. There's a special place in hell for people like that, Damage Case. People that move close to a racetrack and then complain that it's too loud. There's a special place in hell for those people. Yeah, I really don't like people like that. The airport people, I can understand. Airports get a little loud, but yeah. I talked with a local protester on Twitter today. They're concerned about the reserve housing in the community. They're also just anti-space people in general. Interesting, Aiden. Yeah, breakneck. Yeah, I know, right? I live by a naval air station, F-18s and what. Dude, I'd live by an airport, Swagger. I'd love every second of it. I seriously would love every second of living next to an airport. I'd be looking out my window, plane spot, I'd be like, dude, yes, you know. But I understand that not everybody is a tool like I am, you know what I mean? Any clue what happened with SN11 yet? Ishiku, I think all we can really say at this point is that the thing freaking blew up. And whatever it did, it was big. It was a big explosion. New Mary pictures. All right. It's 6:12, guys. That was 3 hours of SPAC. So let's let me just get a couple of things here and there uploaded, or not uploaded, shown here. I live near an Air Force base all the time. I hear aircraft and I run to see what it is, right? Yeah, not everybody's weird like us, dude. So first of all, here's a picture coming from NASA Space Flight. It's coming from Jack Beyer. There's a picture of 15. 15 was in the mid bay. They moved it to the high bay today to put that on top of it. Ooh, hello. Oh, hi, Mark. Wings. Whoa, Thomas, you weren't kidding. So look, they got Nomex backing it. There's Nomex, like on the space shuttle. There's Nomex behind Starship. That's cool, man. They have Nomex and tiles, dude. That's awesome. That makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. It's so cool to see tiles again. I love it. I love it. Are these the first cut tile? Nah, a lot of the prototypes that have flown blue, so 8, 9, 10, and 11 have had various rewind 10 seconds. A lot of the prototypes, 8, 9, 10, and 11, have had tiles on them in various spots, but nothing has had this many tiles. Are you getting shuttle nostalgia right now? Kind of, yeah. My guess, and this is just a guess, is that they're putting them on areas of critical structural load. So part of the thing with the space shuttle is that they had to replace tiles a lot where, like, the wing connects to the shuttle. Because where the wing connects to the shuttle, it bends. It bends and flex, and it wears the tile out, right? You have to replace those. So, like, you have seams in your tiles from in different places. Now, if I'm looking at where these tiles are correctly, we have the methane tank right there. There's the methane access hatch, which means that the common bulkhead is right here. And the header tank is right there. And this is the top of the liquid oxygen tank right here. So that tells me that the tiles are on the bulkhead between these two tanks. That seems like a critical stress area, if I had to guess. That's where they were on all the last starships. And also, it seems like we got some down here around the engine skirt. (7-2) Squishin was moved back to the landing pad, or the build site, and it's just sitting there. Yeah, Reagan, Elon said that the thing didn't have combustion chamber pressure on the way up. I think you're... You seem very, 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 very convinced that a Raptor engine exploded, so I'm not even going to bother. I don't want to sit here and bore people again.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Looks like they didn't put the aero cover on the weird nose cone, but a steel beam of some kind. Okay. TNT, when pop? Look at that weird antenna on top of 15 before. Antenna? The boom sound for gifted subs when? I don't know. If BN1 becomes scrap, do you think it becomes GSE? I think scrap is scrap, dude. I think they're just gonna dismantle it like they did 15 not 15, 12, 13, and 14. But then again, 12, 13, and 14 did become GSE as well, so maybe, yeah. There's a better pair. Holy crap, that's a lot of tiles. Interesting that they have different size tiles. See that? There's two different sizes. A new crane went to the launch area today, an LR 1300. Interesting. Huh. 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 Thomas, I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know. I have no idea what this thing is supposed to do. I really don't have a clue. That LR 1300 can be put into that configuration. Yep. That's pretty nutty, dude. I don't... Oh, man. What a beast mode of a friggin' crane, dude. Look at that thing. Freaking love cranes. I want to see the thrust puck. I'm not really interested in looking at Grimes right now. Huh. Okay. It's a hollow point for... Oh, okay. Okay, we saw that stuff yesterday. This is Brendan's update. Well, this is a little outdated. Also, the BN3 thrust puck was spotted. Huh. So 15 is almost finished, guys. Once again, 15 has crazy different plumbing than the rest, than 8, 9, 10, and 11. How are the tiles going to work on the part that joins the flaps in the structure? Because it needs to move. And once the flaps turn up to land... Well, the shuttle had... the shuttle has like a little flap piece. So the tiles... So, okay, if this is the front of the shuttle, and this is the part of the control surface that moves, the actuation point was in here inside of like a housing, right? And the tiles went from here to here. So when it moved, it did something like this. See what I'm talking about? And then on the top, there was a little piece that when the flap moved up, it just kind of slid up. I can show you here. There's tiles basically all around the bottom of it. I'm just gotta find a thing. Here, actually, this is a great picture. Of course. Of course it thumbnailed because it hates me. Here, take a look. SpaceX's control surfaces are going to be something like this. See these this kind of checkerboard looking thing, that piece can pivot up and down. So when the control surface is moved up, it moves with it. So kind of like this. And then maybe even a little bit like this. And then there's a lip that goes underneath here, Parazes. The tiles basically go a little bit underneath there, and yeah, it just kind of flows over it. Also, frick, I missed that thing. But how would that work, Starship being on a different axis? Just take this whole mechanism and attach it to the side? I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see, Katra. How long will you run the next poll for? Probably until tomorrow, drummer. It's so damn smart. It's so smart. Like, how do you even do this? How do you even think of this thing, man? It's so ridiculous. Even by today's standards, man. This thing is still light years ahead of its time. It's a shame. Shame we don't use them. Why don't they resurrect the shuttle? Because they've, at this point, 10 years out from the program, they've scrapped most of the parts, and any parts that are left over are going to wind up in the ocean. You seen this made with 1,400 flags from Reddit? Wow, that's impressive. SN15 when? It's not even fully assembled yet, Commander. It's going to be a little while. Frick, that thing is cool. It's so ridiculous. Do you know if the shuttle had any important stuff in its wings, or was it all structural? Well, they had the hydraulic actuators for the control surfaces, dude, but yeah, for the most part, structural. Here. There you go. I mean, if you want to really be technical, the landing gear is in the wing. But that is a sub-assembly. The shuttle has, I guess, what you could call a wing box, but it's not like a conventional wing box. This landing gear and this stringer right here and that stringer is connected to a bulkhead right there, and that bulkhead goes underneath the payload bay and attaches to the other stringer over there. So it's kind of like a U-shaped cross member almost. Yeah, Mason, you just really can't put anything in here other than sensors and the hydraulic equipment. One, because you have to save a lot. There's mass problems, right? You can't put like fuel in there or anything. And even if you could, what the hell? What kind of fuel are you gonna fit in here? And also anything you put in here, this area gets really hot, dude. Starship is better than shuttle. Would you agree with that? Well, one of those things has flown into space and the other one hasn't. So, but opinions are subject to change. Yeah, there's really not much out there, dude. What did the shuttle weigh? About 60,000 kilos, Rob. It's heavy. Heavy. It's a spaceship with wings, dude. You got to think about it like that. It's a space plane, not a plane space. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's heavy. Heavy shuttle. And it's about as aerodynamic as a steam engine. The payload bay is 15 by 45 feet. That's 5 meters by 15 meter, give or take. That's big. It's huge. You could fit a school bus in it, no problem. It's big. I mean, it was a great freaking vehicle, man. The more and more I think about it, dude, it just you can't screw with that thing. It's just too good. It's a shame. It's a shame we got rid of it, but that's kind of how it works. It's about as aerodynamic as the Steve. The Mallard would like a word with you. Yeah, okay, let's see the Mallard go Mach 25 and then tell me how aerodynamic it is. Oh, boy. That's like saying I like Jack's Pizza because Domino's hasn't arrived. So, okay, what do you want me to say? In terms of architecture, if you really want my honest opinion, and keep in mind, once again, my opinions are subject to change. Would I rather have Starship or the Space Shuttle? That really depends. Now, are we talking about just having a Starship that can deliver payload into low Earth orbit? Or are we talking about the full Starship? Are we talking about the full Starship? Hey, Bradley, 17-month resub. Are we talking about the full Starship, like, kind of plethora of vehicles? So, like, a Starship refueler? Starship lunar lander? Starship Mars lander? Like, what are we talking about here? Because I think it's only right that if you include all of Starship's architecture, that you include all of the shuttle's architecture as well. Now, keep in mind, the shuttle's original space architecture was something more along the lines of what you see here, what I'm about to show you. It was more along the lines of this. The shuttle could have transporters and tugs brought up. It would attach those tugs in space with a robotic arm, and then it could send that stuff home or send it out to the moon and back. So the shuttle would be routinely taking up lunar excursion modules, command service modules, and basically the equivalent, well, Centaur G, upper stage. I think it's only right that if we include all of Starship's theoretical variants, we include all of the shuttle's theoretical variants. And with that being said, I don't know, man. That's a tall order. Could you not, like, add more fuel and bigger living quarters and just take the shuttle to the moon? No. No. Willie, what you just proposed, hey, Rocket Guy. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. Willie, what you just proposed would be like saying, hey, can I give my Civic a bigger fuel tank and a bigger trailer and drive it all the way to California from New York City? I mean, yeah, you could, but at what point do you just get a bigger car that has more range? Like, I mean, that analogy doesn't really hold because we have fuel stations everywhere. And if we had fuel stations everywhere in space, then it would make more sense. And that's what Starship is kind of playing off of. People aren't gonna like my answer. You guys ain't gonna like my answer, but I think the shuttle is smarter. If you really want my honest opinion. And once again, I'm not saying that I don't want Starship, and I'm not saying that Starship is stupid either. I'll take Starship. That's fine with me. But if we take the complete shuttle built out architecture and we take the complete Starship built out architecture, I would take the shuttle. Starship would be more capable, also SRBs. I don't like SRBs because, yeah, what other system do you know can catastrophically malfunction and still get things into space? And Human, I don't really remember them having any problems with SRB's past Challenger, but once again, that's a problem that should have shown itself in development. Do we go off... Like, see, then we're changing the criteria here. I think the shuttle's a better idea. I'll tell you what it really hinges on. Now, we could say, we could sit here and Human, we could say like, oh, Starship's going to be safer because it has no SRBs. Well, Starship's not going to have a launch abort system. Both the shuttle and Starship are both predicated on making the technology reliable enough where you don't have to worry about that. Similar to an airplane. This is why airplanes don't have parachutes on them. Like a 747 doesn't have ejector seats. It's not carrying 400 ejector seats on it, right? And it's not carrying parachutes either. You have your engines and that's it. And you have engine out capability in case one fails. Just like a rocket has multiple engines as well, right? The shuttle and Starship are both... Their design mantra is based off of not having an abort system and making it as reliable as a plane. And in that regard, the SRBs aren't a what's the word? They aren't a deal breaker for me. Yeah, Vega, right? Last time humans tried to make a rocket with that many engines, it didn't go very well. I mean, Falcon Heavy has 27 engines, RJ. I mean, just putting it out there. Except Starship doesn't seem to have engine out capability during landing. Honestly, Roger, the flip and burn is my breaking point. That's the honest to God reason why I would choose Shuttle over Starship. Dead serious. What does the Shuttle use for landing? The Shuttle relies on 3 hydraulic power units, and that's it. That'll get you back to the runway. Obviously, the thermal protection system needs to work, but once again, let's just pretend for a moment that the shuttle's thermal protection system works correctly, right? Which it did 133 times. I would rather rely on aerodynamics and gravity to get me home rather than rocket engines, to be 100% honest with you. Like, if I had a choice on re-entering on the shuttle or on Starship, and even if Starship was, like, say SpaceX masters that flip and burn, which they will. There's no doubt that they will. I'd still take the shuttle just because I can be ultimately 100% sure that the air is not going to stop airing on Earth, meaning that the shuttle will always glide back. You'll always glide back every time. That is, the shuttle's wings, unless the wing falls off, are still going to wing, albeit badly, but they're always going to get you back. The only time they're not going to get you back is if they get cut off during re-entry, which unfortunately happened once. Respect to Columbia. Respect. But yeah, obviously that's not intended design. I don't really like the idea of you absolutely needing rocket engines to land when you could just use aerodynamics. I mean, it's kind of weird because it goes against what Elon says about the best part is no part, but also at the same time, there's no runways on Mars or the moon, so I understand why Starship is made the way that it is. Starship, once again, is an all-up package. It's designed to be able to go to the moon, it's designed to be able to go to Mars, something that the shuttle is not designed to do off the bat. So that's the reason why SpaceX has chosen to basically build the lander and the second stage and the re-entry vehicle all into the upper stage, right? So that's why it has to do that flip and burn. But I'll be honest, if we're talking about low Earth orbit access, I'd take the shuttle, because I think the shuttle could build insane things in space. Another selling point for me is that the shuttle has a construction crane on it. It has the Canadarm. Seriously. If Starship had one, then yeah, I'd be more inclined to go with Starship as well. But I don't think Starship has a crew and cargo variant like the shuttle does. Does it? Honest question. The Raptor caused a hole in the road. That's coming from Timmy. Wow. Man, what kind of explosion was that? I'm pretty sure it'll have 2 variants. if I recall correctly. So, Drummer, like, if Starship was trying to build something like the ISS, right? How would we do that? Because on-orbit assembly is super important, even if you're using something like Starship. Is it just the first stage that relies on rockets to land? Well, no, Breakneck. The second stage is doing this. The second stage needs to do what you're seeing right here on the screen to land. So, I mean, 100 tons of cargo or crew, Steinert. Yeah, that's what Starship has. That's what Starship has going for it. The shuttle can only carry 25 tons, and Starship can carry 100. Theoretical, obviously, but you know, once again, this whole kind of thought exercise is based off of a lot of contingencies and theoreticals, right? 4 variants are confirmed. Lunar cargo, refueling, and crew. Also at a crazy low cost per kilogram. Yeah, but see, Entropy, once again, we're comparing NSTS architecture, so I'm comparing the shuttle with its original architecture built out, just like I'm comparing Starship's baseline architecture. The shuttle was supposed to be able to do this. Build tugs and assemble transfer vehicles in space so you can move stuff quickly out to the moon. Something not that far off from what we're doing in KSP, only I can keep the stages. The shuttle would just grab the stage, bring it back down, they'd refuel it, and send it back up. How much would Shuttle C be able to lop into orbit? I think it was in like the ballpark of like 70 to 100 tons, if I'm remembering right, but I could be pulling that out of my tail. Would you not have to compare it to ITS then? I mean, yeah, I suppose, Synerd, but I'm comparing it to the current version of Starship, the stainless steel one, not ITS. Right, but I'm saying it's only the shuttle that glides down on the wings versus other parts that don't. That's what I mean about the shuttle. I would rather have... Wings don't malfunction. They don't. A wing, as long as you don't, a piece doesn't fall off, in which case you got other problems. Wings will never fail to relight. They will never fail to gimbal, unless you're dead sticking something, but that's another story. You know what I mean? Like, wings will always wing. As long as you have hydraulic power and can move the control surfaces, the body flap, and the speed brake, the shuttle will make it home. It doesn't need engines to land. Adding rocket engines into your landing formula is going to make things very complicated. It's already making things complicated for SpaceX. Once again, I want to be very clear, I understand why Starship is made this way. Starship is made this way because it's a lander as well for other planets. There's no runways on Mars. I get it. And SpaceX will figure it out. There's no doubt in my mind. They'll get it right. And they'll get it right every time. You know I can tell? I need to look no further than not Saturn V, Falcon 9. Falcon 9 has like a 95% success rate when it comes to landing. Once again, if you're carrying people, 95% success rate is not good enough. It has to be better than that, but SpaceX will learn, and they'll get better at it. Same discussion about the safety of SRBs. Yeah. Well, if what Reagan in chat said was right, then liquid fuel engines are just as susceptible to catastrophic explosions that, as SRBs are. Same discussion about the safety of SRBs. SRBs are ridiculously simple, human. Once again, the reason the SRBs didn't work is because they didn't engineer them good enough. Well, it's not that they didn't engineer it good enough. It's almost like if you launch an untested criteria for when the SRB was originally tested, its baseline criteria was nowhere near what the launch conditions were for Challenger that day, so it's like Chernobyl in that regard. Oh, geez, you took all the safeties off of this nuclear reactor and it blew up? Shocked Pikachu face. Why can't Starship land like Falcon? What? Because it's Starship. It's not a first stage. It's a second stage. Second stages are going a lot faster. You need to re-enter totally different. A better criteria is how many times did Falcon 9 get payload into orbit, I suppose. Yeah, Jonas. Once again, I'd prefer a runway, but then again, how are you going to make something that can simultaneously land on Mars, land on Earth, and land on the Moon, and not make it do that? There's no runways on Mars, and even if there was, you wouldn't be able to land on them. You'd try to land on them, and your plane would nosedive into the ground. You'd need something that has like the mass to lift ratio of like a hang glider to land on a runway on Mars. I mean, did you see how big Ingenuity's blades are to move a shoebox? Ingenuity's contra-rotating blades are like the size of a Cessna blade, and it's moving a shoebox. So, like, I don't know. If you ask me, I'm taking the shuttle at this point in time. And once again, I'll probably change my opinion when Starship starts flying. I'll probably be more like I want the shuttle than anything, or I want Starship. But if I had to choose between the original shuttle architecture and the Starship's architecture, I'd probably take the shuttle. And I'm not trying to dump on Elon, I'm not trying to dump on SpaceX. I from an engineering standpoint, I'd rather glide back to a runway. But once again, I'm sure SpaceX would too. There's no runways on Mars, so can't really do that now, can we? Anyway, I'm talking in circles. What about in KSP? Shuttle or Starship for mission mode? Starship. Yeah. That's provided... Papa Bear, I'm working off the opinion that I can, I have a Starship. I have the parts to be able to make a Starship in KSP, like with the payload bay opening and whatnot. No runways yet. I mean, yeah, short line, even if there was, though. The shuttle is easier to land in KSP, no doubt. And Gartox, that's the reason why I would take a shuttle in real life. Because Bernoulli's principle doesn't change. It's not like the shuttle will go into space. Bernoulli's principle, oh, no, sorry, Bernoulli. No more Bernoulli's principle. And then the shuttle comes back to lands and nosedives into the ground. I don't ever remember the shuttle ever having any problems during landing during any one of its times coming back. Even the approach and landing tests, the first time they ever did it, still had no problems. Starship, on the other hand, has had a lot of problems with its landings. A lot. But, once again, you gotta remember, that's not because Starship is a bad design. That's because Starship does a lot more than a damn space shuttle does. So, I don't know. It's mission architecture versus vehicle architecture. Starship can do more in space than the shuttle can. So it's more complicated than the shuttle is. Starship would be easier to integrate. That's the sole reason, Rocket Guy. The sole reason. Yep. With that being said, I think the shuttle is still an amazingly good low Earth orbit access vehicle, even with its SRBs. The Tri-O-Ring SRBs, they literally never had a problem with. And they will never have a problem with those ever again. We paid for that fix in blood, which kind of sucks, but also at the same time, there were a lot more problems with those SRBs than just blow-by. The design was not very good, but once again, this is what happens when you short development on a program. They short-sold the shuttle funding during development, and it failed. Just like short-selling a stock will fail, unless it's GameStop to the moon, baby! No. Funny analogies and stuff. But ALT5 was induced on purpose, Reagan. They introduced pilot-induced oscillation on purpose, and the shuttle did this during landing. That was on purpose. I think you eventually have to consider how many Starship launches you can get per shuttle launch. Erasmus, the other thing that I was working off of is that there would be one shuttle launch and one Starship launch a week. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you like 100 tons to orbit every week isn't very enticing. But also at the same time, yeah, the shuttle can't move as much. But, dude, I just really like the safety of having altitude be your insurance for landing. I mean, aerodynamics don't change. They don't change. So, you know, aerodynamics don't change. And in that regard, the shuttle is genius. How do you make an airplane fly when it has 3 Mack trucks worth of mass glued to the back? Like, it's pretty damn impressive, man. I can't believe they designed that thing with no blueprints. I mean, with no computers. They designed that thing on all blueprints. It was designed by guys literally drawing on paper. That's just damn impressive. Until the inverse vacuum arrives. It's Mega Maid. She's gone from suck to blow. Ghost One, could Falcon Heavy variant launch a shuttle? No. Ghost One, you'd actually need 4 Falcon Heavy center cores on the sides of a shuttle external tank to get it to A, stand up, and B, have enough thrust to mimic the SRBs. SRBs make 12,000 kilonewtons of thrust each on the space shuttle. The SRBs on SLS, those 5 segments, 14,000 kilonewtons of thrust. They will be by far and away the most powerful rocket engine not tested, ever flown. By a factor of 2, actually. Yeah. Pretty crazy. That reminds me, apparently Spaceballs is free to watch if you have YouTube Premium. Oh, nice. Kind of like Buran Energia. Yeah, and that should tell you everything you need to know about how powerful the RD-170 is. One RD-170 is almost as powerful as 9 Merlin engines on a Falcon 9. And once again, I say they would have to be center cores because they would have to be reinforced. The SRBs hold the external tank and the shuttle up in the air. So you have to be able to hold up a fully fueled external tank. So 4 Falcon Heavy center cores would have to be able to hold up, oh, I don't know, it's 2 to 3 million pounds, maybe 4 million pounds, somewhere around there. I mean, SRBs are pretty heavy. Imagine a modern Raptor-powered shuttle with the X-37B heat shield tech and composite SRBs. Fully developed and safe Raptor or RS-25s? And well, Bill, their RS-25s are already fully developed and safe. The AR-22 program proved that. Ares 1 gang. Oh. Don't do that to me. Don't. Just don't. Just don't do that to me. Oh god, it's not Ares 1, a rocket with truly no redeemable value. Oh, Hunster, you're gonna stir up the hive. There's a lot of Ares 1 fanboys in here, myself included. Alright. So, what do we want to work on today? I kind of want to mess with cranes. Is that bad? We can talk about mission mode here. Talking about mission mode goals and maybe some cranes. Smiley face. Playing Kerbal. There's 2. I know, I accept the pain. There's 1 is amazing, dude. Arc, what is this? Arc, what is that? What do you want me to... Why are you linking hair dye? Oof. Jeez.